Good evening. If you could please join me in standing for the invocation with Ms. Fields and then the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Most Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for life and for health and for strength. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to serve. We thank you for everyone who's present in this room today. Pray for them, and we pray for their families. Father, we thank you for our leadership. We thank you for the folks that are out in the trenches, Lord God, and doing everything that they can to make sure that our students get the best education possible. We just thank you for them. We pray for our students. We pray for whatever their needs are, that those needs will be met. We pray for their families as well. Father, there are so many people in need, and whatever their needs are, we know that you can do anything but fail. We pray that you would bless this meeting, that everything will be done in decency and in order, and to the glory of your name. We ask all these things. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Fields. And I'd now like to call Brinley Hiley to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Except for you, Brinley. I just have some questions for you. How's it going?
Good.
Good. Thanks for coming to lead us in the pledge tonight. So I hear that you are 6 years old. Is that right? And where do you go to school?
Altaris Elementary.
Altaris Elementary. And what grade are you in?
First grade.
First grade? Man. So I hear that you have a pretty special PE coach. Who's your PE coach?
Daddy.
I love it. All right. And do I hear that there's somebody else at another school that's pretty special?
Mama.
Your mom? What do you know where your mommy works? Or what? Is she in
Davenport Elementary.
Davenport Elementary? Man, you have lots of teachers and educators in your family. So what do you like to do?
Play soccer.
Nice. And what do you want to be when you grow up?
A teacher.
No surprise there. That is awesome. Well, now I need you to promise me something. When you go be a teacher, you're going to come back to Polk County to do it, right? No. Good job, Mom and Dad. Don't make promises with strangers. Very good advice. Well, you let us know when you're ready to come back and be a teacher, because I think you would be a great teacher in one of our schools. So did you bring anybody with you tonight?
My grandma.
Your grandma? And I see somebody else in the front row. Do you have a little brother here? What's your little brother's name?
Benjamin.
Benjamin. Well, thank you, Mom, Dad, and Grandma and Benjamin for coming and bringing Miss Brinley. And Brinley, thank you so much for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. One last question, because I know you want to be a teacher, which probably means you like school. What's your favorite part about school?
I have recess.
Recess. I love it. Very nice. Very good. Well, thank you so much for coming and leading us in the pledge tonight. You did an awesome job, and you can sit down now. All right, and we will now call this meeting to order for November 14th, 2023. Our first order of business is to accept the school board agenda. Superintendent Hyde, do you have any revisions?
Madam Chair, yes, ma'am, there are 4 revisions. I don't think I'm on. There we go. Madam Chair, excuse me, there are 5 revisions. Item J3, joint usage agreement between Polk County School District and City of Lake Wales. An attachment was provided and updated. Item K, number 1, instructional administrative personnel actions. The attachment was updated. Item K, number 2, non-instructional personnel actions. An attachment was updated. Item O1, Berkeley Accelerated Middle School Charter Contract Modification, an attachment was updated. And finally, item P number 1, the 2024 legislative platform, the attachment was updated. That concludes changes for the board meeting.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde. I'll now seek a motion to approve the school board agenda as revised.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Cunningham and Mr. Sharpless, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Superintendent Hyde, I'll now turn it over to you for special recognitions.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, members of the committee, and staff. Thank you for being here this evening. At this time, I'd like to ask school board member Mr. Justin Sharpless to please step down for this evening's special recognitions. I'd also like to invite Ms. Ann Everett to read the names for our students that we're recognizing this evening.
Good evening, everyone, and I'm joined by Susan Wilcoxon, our new Assistant Director for School Counseling, and John Miller, Curriculum Specialist for Acceleration and Innovation. And so thank you, Mr. Hyde, Superintendent Hyde, school board members, and district staff for the opportunity to recognize some of our outstanding high school seniors. As part of the United States Department of Education Presidential Scholars Program, each state Department of Education is asked to select a limited number of current high school seniors to receive this national recognition. In September, the Florida Department of Education distributes guidelines for each school district to nominate 2 presidential nominees. Among other criteria, 1 student is to be selected based on academic achievement, including results of standardized assessments, and 1 student is to be selected based on career technical education. High schools are asked to nominate 1 student for each of the 2 presidential scholar categories. In total, 44 seniors were nominated this year. The district curriculum team then reviewed each submission and selected 2 students to represent Polk County Public Schools at the state level. We appreciate this opportunity to publicly recognize these students, and a special congratulations goes out to all of our Presidential Scholar District finalists. So students, when your name is called, please come on down to receive your certificate and pose for a photo. From George Jenkins High School, Emma Abdany. And she was their nominee for academic achievement. From Davenport High School, we also have Jakaria Ahmed for academic achievement. Unable to join us this evening from Haines City IB is Abrar Amin for academic achievement. From Bartow High School in career technical education, we have Porter Brown. From Harrison School of the Arts for academic achievement, we have Anna Chang. In the area of career technical education from Kathleen High School, Patience Colvin. Also in career technical education, but unable to join us this evening from Haines City High School, is Johanna Cornhejo. In academic achievement from Mulberry Senior High School, we have Christian Cortez Daza. Also in the area of academic achievement from Frostproof Middle Senior High School, Garrett Davis. From Lake Region Senior High School in the area of career technical education, we have Annika Donahue. Unable to join us from Discovery Academy High School, but in the area of academic achievement, we have Sam Duncan. Also, oh, Sam, sorry, come on in. You came in late. You got me. Sam Duncan, everybody. Sorry about that. Also in the area of career technical education, I think unable to join us this evening from Tenorock High School is Clayton Fussell. In career technical education for Polk Virtual School, we have Gage Gilroy. From Auburndale Senior High School in the area of academic achievement, we have Madeline Harbuck. Also from Auburndale High School, but unable to join us this evening in the area of career technical education is Celestial Harris. She's here. Good to have her. Also from the career technical education category and Mulberry Senior High School, unable to join us, is Aubrey, oh, she's here too, Aubrey Jackson. That one I got. From Travis Technical College and Career and Technical Education, we have Colin Jacobs. Also in career technical education from Winter Haven Senior High School, Joel Johnson. Next, we have Zoser Lee from Kathleen Senior High School, also in the career technical education category. From Bartow and Summerlin Academy, we have Enrique Maltos in the career technical education category. From George Jenkins High School in career technical education, Tyson McLaws. From Bartow IB, we have academic achievement category, Abraham Medina. From Davenport High School in career technical education, Alec Mosenberg. Unable to join us from Ridgeview Global Studies Academy in the career and technical education category, Thomas Nickel. In the academic achievement category for Bartow High School, Jasmine Perry. Also in the academic achievement category from Ridge Community High School, Florenta Qualicu. From Lake Gibson Senior High School in career technical education, we have Caitlin Robertson. Also in career technical education from Fort Meade Middle Senior High School, Adamaris Reblero. From Polk Virtual School in Academic Achievement, we have Yoli Rodriguez. Also in Academic Achievement from Lake Gibson Senior High School, Candace Sampe. Unable to join us this evening from Discovery Academy High School, Sina Sangert in the area of Academic Achievement. For Bartow Summerlin Academy in the area of Academic Achievement, we have Chris Sempert. Also in the area of Academic Achievement from Lakeland Senior High School, we have Kenneth Shamblin. From Haines City High School in the area of Academic Achievement, we have Eden Silva. Also in the area of Academic Achievement from Fort Meade Middle Senior High School, Jordan Spradlin. Unable to join us from McKeel Academy High School in the area of Academic Achievement, Alina Sullivan. And from Frostproof Middle Senior High School in the area of Career Technical Education, we have Wilhelmina Ulrich. Also in the area of Career Technical Education from McKeel Academy High School, Julie Urbina. From Harrison School of the Arts in the area of Career Technical Education, we have Paula Vala Jimenez. From Ridgeview Global Studies Academy, but unable to join us for Academic Achievement, Jaden Washington. And from Ridge Community Senior High School in the area of Career Technical Education, we have Ivy Wilson. And from Lake Region Senior High School in the area of Academic Achievement, Isaac Winkle. And finally, representing Polk County Public Schools for Academic Achievement is Eric Brown from Winter Haven High School. And representing Polk County Public Schools for Career Technical Education is Kendall Elizabeth King from Bartow High School. Congratulations to all of our Presidential Scholar nominees, but we're going to have the two representatives representing us at state take a photo together this evening. And let's give our nominees one more round of applause. Congratulations again, and thank you, board members.
Next, I'd like to invite Susan Copeland, Executive Director of the Polk Education Foundation, to please come forward to recognize, I'll wait. Thank you.
Obviously, I know how to clear a room. And I said it was too bad that I wasn't after them so they could hear about the scholarships we have to offer, because obviously they're just the candidates we're looking for.
You just caught a lot of attention of the people that are still in the back of the room.
Wait,
so
what? My kids?
You got a
my
couple
parents?
sticking around.
Yeah. All right, so hello, board members and Superintendent Hyde. Oh, you want me to hang on?
Introducing you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'd like to reintroduce Ms. Susan Copeland, Executive Director of the Polk Education Foundation, and she is here this evening to recognize scholarship donations and participants in participation.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I think going through the crowd, I didn't hear it all. So, hello again, everyone. And yes, I'm here to recognize some of our scholarship donors because we're getting ready to start scholarship season. It really never ends, but we are preparing our application to open after the first of the year. So we really go into the official busy time for scholarships. So last year, we awarded $895,000 worth of scholarships. And that's all thanks to businesses and civic groups and individuals in our community. We currently have 209 scholarships as we prepare for the new season, and I just wanted to come here tonight to publicly thank all of our sponsors, but I brought 5 of them with me tonight so that I could recognize them and tell you a little bit about some of the awards we offer. So my group, maybe if you'll just stand here with me, and I'll call you up each individually, and Mr. Sharpless has, School Board Member Sharpless has a certificate for you, and we'll do a group picture at the end. So first I have Emery Smith. He's the Executive Vice President of Ben Hill Griffin Incorporated. And Ben Hill Griffin Inc. Scholarships were established in 1991, making them one of the longest standing scholarships at the foundation. They offer $2,000 scholarships to a student at Frostproof High School, Lake Wales, and Fort Meade High Schools. And each year they interview select candidates for those awards. So students are really working for that award. I know Emery has personally done those interviews for the last 19 years because I've sat with him and done them. So he probably even did a few before that. So I wanted to thank you for your time and the generosity of Ben Hill Griffin Incorporated. Thank you. The Cricket Club of Bartow is represented tonight by Ruth Trainer. Come on up, Ruth. And the Cricket Club, as you probably know, has very deep roots in the Bartow community. And they offer their $500 scholarship only to students at a high school in Bartow. The club values community service and places an emphasis on that criteria. They invite their recipient to a club meeting each year to meet their members, which I think is very special and also very important. And the club also works to select the recipient of the Gail Murray Memorial Scholarship that's done in memory of a former Cricket Club member. So Ruth has always been a big help to us, and the Cricket Club is generous in so many ways, so thank you very much. Next, I'd like to introduce Andy Ray. When Andy's wife passed away in 2004, the Libby Threckle Ray Memorial Scholarship was endowed in her memory. It is offered to students at Winter Haven High School where Libby graduated. Libby was a former teacher for Polk County Public Schools, and she was even a Teacher of the Year. This will be the 20th year of this $1,000 scholarship, and Andy and his family and co-workers at that time all worked very hard to raise the funds for this award. So thank you, Andy, and your family for making this award possible to Winter Haven High School students. You're welcome. And Andy's the new police chief here in Bartow, if you don't know. Representing the Harrison Family Scholarship is Pam Harrison Comer and her niece, Caroline Giroux, who you may know from here in the district. This is another longstanding scholarship, having been endowed in 1993. This 88, okay, I looked somewhere wrong, I'm so sorry. So 88, which means you are officially one of the longest because we were started in 88. So let's see, it was started in memory of your father, your grandfather, Doc Harrison, who is the principal at Fort Meade, Kathleen, and Mulberry Middle High School. Each year, applicants vie for this $2,500 scholarship the family offers, and it's truly a family tradition because they bring grandchildren and sisters and everyone else to come and take part in this process. So we thank you very, very much for everything you've done. And last, representing Polk Sheriff Charities is Captain Robert Sessions. And the Heroes Tribute Scholarship provides $3,700 scholarships to help students who plan to major in criminal justice, public administration, social work, communications, or any business degree. Students from any high school in Polk County can apply. This is a special award, they all are, but it awards 7 scholarships that are done in honor of Polk County deputies who gave their lives while serving to protect us all. Sheriff's deputies attend each of the recipient's senior award ceremonies to honor the fallen deputy and to honor the recipient. So thank you to Sheriff Charities for sponsoring these scholarships. We're proud to facilitate them for you. Thank you. So in closing, I would just say if there's anyone in the community that still wants to offer scholarships, any school board member, any district employee, there's still time. If you get with us by the middle of December before holiday break, we can get you added to our 2024 scholarship application. So thank you for allowing me to bring this group here tonight.
Great job.
Thank you. Before you leave the podium, Ms. Copeland, in case there are any seniors that are watching this, how do they apply for these scholarships?
So our application will be found at polkeducationfoundation.org. That is our website, so just our name.org. And all of the counselors and schools that are lucky enough to have scholarship contacts, which they all should, they'll have that information. So they need to make sure their service hours are entered in now, and hopefully we'll get something done with FAFSA. If we don't, just get those service hours entered for sure right now. Thank you.
And they open in February?
Well, we're waiting on FAFSA still because there's
In
been
the spring.
changes.
Watch out.
By the end of January, mid-February. I can say that safely. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
Madam Chair, that concludes special recognitions for this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde. And the next section of our agenda will be public comments. Before we begin, I would like to welcome the public and go over our public comment process and opportunities for this evening. We will have 2 opportunities for public comment. The first will be for items on this evening's agenda to be voted upon, and the second will be at the end of our meeting for items not on this evening's agenda. We do not currently have anyone signed up to talk about items on this evening's agenda, so we will go on to our approval of our minutes. Next, we have the approval of our minutes, and we have 2 sets of minutes this evening. The first set is from the October 24th, 2023 work session. I'll hear a motion to approve the minutes for the October 24th, 2023 work session meeting.
So move. Second.
Dr. Allen and Mr. Sharpless, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. The next will be for the minutes from the October 24th, 2023 school board meeting. And I'll now seek a motion to approve those minutes from the October 24th, 2023 school board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Fields and Mr. Sharpless, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries. I will now turn the board meeting over to Superintendent Hyde to lead us through the reorganization of the board.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to welcome everyone to this evening's meeting. The board chair has called this meeting in order to, has called this meeting to order and pursuant to Florida Statute 1001.371. And I, as the superintendent, will act as the chair until the organization of the board has been completed. At this time, we will request all cell phones and other devices to be turned off or put in silent mode. Our next order of business is to elect a board chair. I will use the following procedure. In a moment, I will open the floor for nominations. After board members have had ample time to make all nominations they wish, I will ask for a motion to close the nominations. Afterwards, I will conduct a roll call vote by district, beginning with the first candidate nominated. If there is a majority for the first nominee, the election of the board chair will be complete, and we will move to the election of the vice chair. If there is not a majority in favor of the first nominee, there will be a roll call vote for the second nominee. This process will continue until a board chair is elected by majority vote. I will use the same method in the election of the vice chair. Are there any questions? Board members will indicate their interest in nomination through raising their hand. Mrs. Winchester and Yvette will both assist me with identifying the order in which your hands go up in case I miss them, so that we can make sure that we do this properly and in order. No questions?
No.
Ms. Cunningham. I will now accept nominations for chairman. Nominations do not require a second. I see Ms. Cunningham's hand. Are there no other nominations?
Are we?
Oh, no, I'm not nominating me.
I understand.
Okay.
I'll come back to you. I just want to make sure there's no
Okay.
other nominations.
I think it probably depends on who she nominates.
Right.
Ms. Cunningham, who's your nominee?
Superintendent Hyde, it is my honor and pleasure this evening to nominate Dr. William Allen to serve as our chairman for the next year. I take that nomination very seriously and prayerfully, and I feel that Dr. Allen has shown his leadership and his ability through him being a vice chairman this year. And I think Ms. Wyatt has done a wonderful job, and I would just like to see Dr. Allen have the opportunity to serve as our chair in his growth and leadership development as he moves along on our school board panel. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, I will now entertain a motion that nominations are closed.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. At this time, I will conduct a roll call vote in order of nomination. The first nominee is Dr. William Allen, and I will call each member by district. Please indicate whether or not you support the first nominee by saying aye or nay. District 1,
Yay.
District 2,
Aye.
District 3,
Aye.
District 4,
Aye.
District 5, District 6,
Aye.
District 7, Ms. Miller is not with us this evening. We have a majority in favor of the first nominee. We will now move to the election of the vice chair. I will now accept nominations for vice chair. Mr. Nolte.
I would like to nominate, and thank you, Superintendent Hyde, I'd like to nominate the future Dr. Justin Sharpless as our vice chair.
Are there any other nominations? Ms. Wyatt.
I'd like to nominate Lisa Miller.
Are there any additional nominations? Seeing none, I will now entertain a motion that nominations be closed.
So moved.
Second.
We will now conduct a roll call vote in order of the nominations. The first nominee is Mr. Justin Sharpless. I will call each member by district. Please indicate whether or not you support the first nominee by saying yay or nay. District 1,
Yay.
District 2,
Yay.
District 3,
Yay.
District 4,
Sorry, yay.
District 5, District 6,
Yay.
District 7 is not present. That is a majority, and so we will not continue with the roll call vote. The next item is for the designation of time, date, and place for school board meetings. I recommend that the board hold meetings on the fourth Tuesday of each month at 5 p.m., with these meetings to be held in the school board auditorium at the administrative offices in Bartow, Florida. I will now entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Third.
Can we have some discussion?
Yes, ma'am?
Okay, seeing that, first of all, congratulations to our new chair and our new vice chair. So excited for you all to move up into leadership positions for our district. I think you two are going to make a great team. Furthermore, I wanted to ask, I know that both these gentlemen work in academia, and I'm wondering this is the time at which we set the dates and times for our school board meetings and work sessions going forward. Does there need to be any modification to make it easier or better for the both of you? I know we really haven't talked about it because we're not supposed to, so I figured I would bring it up tonight because I think we're all flexible to a point if we know ahead of time. I'm not sure if it's something we should think about maybe and discuss at the next meeting, but I wanted to at least bring it up that I know there's been several times that it may have been an issue for one or both of you, and in order to be successful for the next year, I just wanted to bring it up to see if y'all had any comment regarding that tonight before we vote.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want my position to, really determine, but I would definitely express my opinion that the 9 a.m.s are definitely a challenge in regards to a class schedule.
For me, I teach Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so as long as it's on a Tuesday or Thursday, I'm fine.
Okay. Okay,
Is there
so,
any further discussion?
I
I'd
would-
like to make a comment, please.
Ms. Fields?
I think that accepting the leadership of the chair and the vice chair is something that might be sacrifices. I mean, I work at Girls Inc., and there's sometimes that I would love to be at Girls Inc., but my obligation is here, vice versa. And I know that I have to schedule those times, and if I can't make it here, then I can't make it. I know we've had discussion about changing meetings for the benefit of the public, especially our teachers, who would love to be able to come to the meetings, but they're still in school. So if we were going to do anything, I would pursue that rather than pursuing whether or not it's in alignment with the chair and the vice chair schedule. It's just my thought on it.
My comments were similar, just in that I think when we all run for school board, we know that these are the times. So I would hope that if we're looking to change any times or to make any changes, that it would be more than a discussion at the dais this evening, that's something that we would have later on.
Okay. We will now have a vote. All in favor of meetings being held on the fourth Tuesday each month, beginning at 5 p.m.? Please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it. And we will come back with a proposed calendar, so if any adjustments need to be made, especially for workshops,
Sure.
because of the expressed concerns about 9 a.m., we can definitely take those
Absolutely.
into additional consideration.
Thank you.
We are, since it was brought up, we have been looking into how could we possibly support meetings being held in other locations, because we do record and produce, essentially live stream our meetings. That creates an incredible hardship for the equipment and our staff. And so what we're looking at is the possibility of an alternative professional development center and additional boardroom in the northeast portion of our school district. So I'll be bringing back more information about that in the near future. The next item is the approval of Resolution 2023-2024 2023-06, authorizing the banks of Polk County, Florida, as depositories of school funds to honor in cash warrants drawn against said funds when assigned by the board chair and secretary of the board. I will now entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Who seconded that motion?
I did.
Dr. Allen. The next item on today's reorganization agenda is my recommendation that proceedings of school board meetings be held in accordance with Robert's Rules of Orders, revised, and the rules of the Administrative Procedures Act. I will entertain a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The item is approved. That completes the reorganization of the board. I will now turn the meeting over to the new chair, Dr. William Allen. Please join me in congratulating Dr.
Sounds great.
It's a slight struggle because the technology's in front of me, but his computer's over there. So we're going to work. We're going to
We'll do
tag
it.
team it a little bit.
All right, so the next item is approval of today's consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the November 14th, 2023 consent agenda as printed. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Ms. Cunningham and Ms. Wyatt. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye, and those opposed, nay.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Next, we come to our action agenda for this evening, and our first item on the agenda is the final approval of the 2024 legislative platform. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
All right, perfect. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Ms. Fields.
Yeah, you're going to have to take care of that, sorry.
Thank you. We had a lot of discussion during the work session about the platform, and I want to commend the staff for bringing some very valuable issues that we need to address this year. And I also want to thank the superintendent and Ms. Dodge for revisiting the comments about permission slips. I think the way that you all crafted it was very good and captured everybody's thoughts. So I would say great job on it, and hopefully we'll be able to move some of these things off of the platform.
Thank you.
Any other discussion at this point? All right, seeing none, I would like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye, and all those opposed, nay.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next on our agenda, we have the school board members redistricting. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All right, and any discussion by fellow board members? We have Ms. Cunningham. You're recognized.
Thank you, sir. Okay, as we discussed at the last meeting, I am not in favor of doing this. As we talked about last time, we are at 6 months by the time we do this to when qualifying occurs in June of 2024. Secondly, there may be other people that currently reside in my district that may want to run for the seat coming up. So the timeline is really, really very small to get this done. Thirdly, with the statute changes, it was told to us that you could only do this every odd year, but that statute has changed, and we can do it. This can be addressed shortly after the election this coming year. More importantly, I made a call to our supervisor of elections, like I had promised, Lori Edwards, and I'd like to take a minute to pass out the letter, and I'm going to read it publicly so that everybody knows what she has said. Ms. Edwards wrote me, "Dear Lori, the end of December, we expect to perform a big redistricting project on the database of Polk's voters. If the Polk School Board is redistricting, we would like to have your new districts before that, so we don't have to change each voter's record twice. The Supervisor of Elections Office doesn't have a preference as to whether you redistrict or not. Our simple request is that whatever districts are to be used for the 2024 elections are communicated to us before the end of the year. Best wishes, Lori Edwards, Supervisor of Elections." In talking to her, there is no mandate. They don't have a dog in the hunt, so to speak. They just said, if you're going to do it, we would like to know by the end of the year so that they can take their get their stuff, their voter ident in order, so that they don't have to change voter districts midstream. So I told everybody that I would call, and as you can see, I did it the day after our board meeting, but wanted to present it here to you publicly tonight. There is no mandate. They are not mandating from the Supervisor of Elections. And quite frankly, she chuckled and agreed with me. And she said, yeah, it is kind of funny to do this 6 months before an individual would qualify for their election. Had this been 2020 or 2021, I wouldn't be sitting here, not in agreement. I would be in agreement, and we could have moved on. But I just feel with people that are out there, ones who have already decided to announce their candidacy, plus others, to do this to people 6 months before they have to qualify, I just don't think that's appropriate way to deal with this. So I cannot support this. And as I've just shown you, there's no mandate to have to do this right now. Now, after the next election, I'll be the first one to ask the board chair, superintendent, to put it on the agenda, and we can move forward. That gives people 4 years, if you choose to change, to be able to do so and be in that district, but not at this late juncture in the election process. Thank you.
Ms. Cunningham. Next up, we have Ms. Wyatt.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. I will be supporting this tonight. This is, again, as we've discussed, this is based on our 2020 census. Most other districts, many other districts, including our county government, were able to do this in 2021. At that point, we said we were going to delay until 2023. While we don't have to wait until 25 if we don't do this now, we do have to wait until December of 2024, which is still just as close to the next cycle of elections. Part of what this does and what statute requires is that once we have the new census data, that we have districts that are of equal size based on the population. Currently, our districts are not of equal size based on the population. Not doing this, I feel like, makes it where we won't have necessarily someone living where our largest growth area is, to make sure that that area is represented based on the population. That's why we do the census every 10 years, is to make sure that we have someone representing in the different areas of our population where the people are. I'm sure that 50, 60 years ago, the districts looked very, very different than they do today, because growth changes all the time, which is nothing to be said of our previous decisions. That's what it was when we had that data then. But as we receive new data, we should be updating as quickly as possible. In my opinion, having someone run that would not be in where the new population is indicating it is, would be a disservice to our students and to the community that's in that area. So I will be supporting this.
Thank you, Ms. Wyatt. Mr. Nolte, you are recognized.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. I agree with everything that Mrs. Cunningham said. All her background work and everything is an excellent job, and I will definitely vote with Mrs. Cunningham on this situation.
Thank you, Mr. Nolte.
Thank you.
All right, at this point, I do not see, okay. Ms. Fields, you're recognized.
Thank you. We've had a lot of discussion about this, and we delayed it for a minute, waiting for Mr. Bridges to come back from being out of town to give us some thoughts as it relates to the statute and all of that. So I respect Ms. Cunningham's opinion, and I also respect Ms. White's opinion, and I will be in support of the redistricting.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. All right, so I was just going to follow up on this as well. Superintendent Hyde, do you know if the redistricting team maybe consulted with our supervisor of election?
Actually, we did. She contacted us initially and gave us a deadline by which we would have to give her any redistricting information so that she could make sure that they updated all their information for voters.
Okay. All right, looks like we have no other speakers, so we'll go ahead and move forward on this vote. So I'd like to call for a vote now. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And all those opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
All right, motion carries.
I didn't hear Justin.
Do we?
Justice
What was
vote?
What was
Justin's
Justin?
vote?
I didn't vote.
You have to.
You have to vote.
I'm sorry, I just didn't come out with it. I'm going to vote, I don't know, I guess it just, I'll vote yay. I'll vote yay.
All right. Did you get the roll call on that? Thank you. All right, so the next item on our agenda is our superintendent's report. Superintendent Hyde, do you have a report for us tonight?
I do, because I will not steal anyone's thunder about last week's event, I'll leave that to you all to disclose. I will say that we had a fabulous event last Thursday night to honor and recognize, some amazing employees that were nominated as our Educator of the Year and our Employee of the Year. Their stories were touching. I would argue that every year when we watch the videos and we get to meet all of the candidates and finalists, it's amazing to be continually impressed because the level of their performance and their involvement and their engagement and the way their students and their colleagues respond to them and parents respond to them just continues to rise every single year. They're just an exceptional group of individuals. And as I shared, they're all winners, but I'll leave it to each of you to celebrate for your finalists who won. So the next work session and board meeting will be held on December 12th, 2023. The work session will begin at 12:30 p.m. and the board meeting will begin at 5 p.m. The meetings will be held at the district office located at 1915 South Floral Avenue in Bartow. And if I may, for one brief moment, go back to the event, our Aspire Awards. You don't get to see the team, and we were talking earlier that many board members would love to have a window there so we could see the team who's working behind the scenes here to make all the magic happen. And quite frankly, the amount of work that team puts in, as well as Susan Copeland and many of her staff, to pull off an absolutely extraordinary event this year. From the hallways and the banners that were personalized that every single one of the candidates will receive this week, to the awards, the staging, the lighting, the speeches. I mean, everything was just done absolutely well. Exceptionally well, and so they deserve a lot of credit. I know they're not in here to be recognized, but I would be remiss if I did not point out what an amazing job they do for us to help us celebrate and identify just these outstanding individuals who serve each and every day the needs of our students and community. So I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge them as well. And to each of you for being present last week, it was great to see you all. Ms. Cunningham threw me. I have to admit, she walked off the stage, shook my hand, and said, we got it. And I thought she knew because they don't
See you soon.
Yes, you did. See you soon. And she threw me because I thought, how did she? Because I don't know who the winners are, and I thought for sure she knew who her winner was, but it threw me there for a moment. And to our sponsors, the event sponsors who helped make that possible, and to the company at the end, Jarrett Ford. For them not only to provide a $10,000 award for the Teacher of the Year, but after sitting through the event and listening to the amazing stories of our Employee of the Year, they made that special announcement at the end that they were going to give that individual $5,000 to recognize their hard work and dedication. And that's a true testament for all of, again, how touching it was to watch those videos and hear about how these staff work with students. Clearly resonated within the community as well. So very pleased, and I'd love to acknowledge them publicly again, because I thought that was a very special testament to our staff and our community. So with that, that concludes the superintendent's report, Madam Chair, or Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Dr. Chair
It's the
to you.
shared microphone that's throwing me off
It's
here.
Dr. Chair to you.
Dr. Chair, it is Dr. Chair to me, yes.
Thank you for that report, Superintendent Hyde.
You're welcome, sir.
Next, we actually have an attorney report for us this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Dr. Allen and Mr. Sharpless, I would extend my congratulations to both of you. I believe that both of you understand the gravity and importance of bringing leadership to this board through the next year, and I look forward to working with you. That said, I would request authority to advertise a public hearing to be held on January 23rd, 2024, during the regularly scheduled school board meeting to address changes to the student progression plan.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion at this point? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And the motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We do not have an auditor's report, but I want to say thank you for being present with us, as always, and always being active in your work. So thank you, Ms. Matthews. Next, we come to the fun part of the evening as well. So we get to hear from our fellow board members and how active they've been around the district. So I would actually like to start with District 2, Ms. Cunningham.
Okay, we can do that. Let me first start off by saying my best congratulations to Dr. Allen as our new chairman and to Mr. Sharpless as our vice chairman. I think y'all have big shoes to fill. Ms. Sarah Beth Wyatt has done a wonderful job over the past several years chairing our board meetings and leading us to the point that we are. But I'm very excited for the new opportunity and the new phase. So I wish you both the very best, and I'm always here if any of you need anything.
Sunshine.
In the sunshine, yes, of course, of course. I also wanted to say congratulations to our Teacher of the Year, which is Elizabeth Ashmore from Edgar L. Paget Elementary, and our school-related Employee of the Year is Richard Reich from East Area Adult School. And I would be remiss if I didn't give a huge congratulations to District 2's finalists, Miss Sherry Blackwood at Citrus Ridge Civics Academy, and Alberto Cosme from Shelley Boone Middle School. All of our finalists, no matter what school they are, no matter where they reside, all of you are winners. Every teacher that's a Teacher of the Year or a school-related Employee of the Year, you have our hats off are to each of you, because it takes a village to raise a child across our district. And our teachers, our paraprofessionals, our bus drivers, our custodians, our cafeteria, everybody, media specialists, the list goes on, everybody takes a part in building our children and helping them to grow and be the best citizens that they can be. So let me say thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone. Additionally, as all of my colleagues, I'm sure, we go around the county to different events, so here's some of mine. I attended the Battle of the Books at Bethune Academy several weeks ago, and oh, how fun. I got to read to a wonderful second grade classroom, and my favorite book always is anything that's got to do with one of my favorite authors, and now his name escapes me. Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. And I usually wear my little Dr. Seuss hat, and I have fun in the classrooms with my children. And it's to motivate them because, oh my goodness, the places you can go. You have to put your thinking cap on, you have to work hard, make good choices, and you can go any place that you want to go. So it was a wonderful day that I spent at Bethune Academy, and thank you for the wonderful invitation. Then we had a wonderful celebration at Scenic Terrace on October 11th, which we did to honor the opening, if you will, of the school. And we had a lot of different people from all over the county come and celebrate with us as we were able to welcome the school, the administrators, the children, everything. And several of my colleagues, of course, attended alongside me. And it was just a great morning of celebration for a beautiful new school in a public-private partnership that we have with Public School Development Solutions and Building Tomorrow's Schools. And I just want to thank them publicly for the work that you do. You built that school in 10 months, which is record time, on budget, and I love the outcome of this relationship. So hopefully there'll be more of those to come. So thank you. Additionally, wow, it's play season around the county. So I attended at Harrison Theater the Cinderella. Oh my goodness. The star of the show, Miss Emma Armstrong, is a little munchkin that we met when she was at DSA, Davenport School of the Arts. And I'll never forget, my daughter was one of the leads in The Wizard of Oz. And right after the play, little Emma walked up and looked at Christina and said, "I hope I can be like you someday." She, as a freshman, was selected as the lead for Cinderella at Harrison. As a freshman, the end of her freshman year, only the second time it's been done in the history of Harrison. She's phenomenal. She's going places in arts. I was so blessed that we were invited to attend. And also, Mr. Snagaki, before he passed, chose this group of students to be in this play. It was his play. And I know he's looking down, and he's very proud. So, kudos to, wow, who do I say? First of all, Mr. Levine as the principal, Ms. Lambert, Cece Ingram for costumes, Rob Lambert for the orchestra, Tyler Campbell for music. I mean, it's an extraordinary group of teachers that work with those students. And we're so blessed. So kudos to everybody at Harrison for doing such an extraordinary job during a very difficult time. Because during this week of production, as most of you may know, we got the text from Superintendent Hyde that young lady who was a junior and played in the orchestra that was going to open on Thursday night had passed away. So those students, that school, it's been a week. That whole week was very, very difficult. And I don't know how many people know, but the mom of the young lady who had passed reached out to Mr. Lambert and asked if the orchestra department, orchestra kids could come and play at her funeral on Thursday morning. And then opening night was Thursday night. So keep Harrison Theater, orchestra, kids, faculty, and that family in your prayers as we go forward. It's been a difficult time for a lot of families, but they did an amazing job. Then last weekend, I was blessed to go to Davenport School of the Arts and see the Nutcracker. Amazing. And I know Miss Winchester and I went on the same night, so it was fun to see you there. Once again, just, you know, Mrs. Kane and Mr. Mosenberg, who was here earlier, his son Alec received one of the recipients of one of the awards tonight. We're so proud of both of you and what you do. And kudos to Ms. Brayton and her leadership team for allowing them to be creative, have fun, and do what they do so well. And to Barbara and Hubert, who are always there backstage doing costumes and sets and, you know, doing everything to make those plays absolutely phenomenal for a K through 8 school. So just want to say thank you and congratulations on another great theater production at Davenport School of the Arts. And in conclusion, I just want to wish everybody a happy and blessed Thanksgiving, and be sure to take some time to thank your family and to thank those around you and tell them you love them. Life is too short, as we've witnessed here recently. Y'all be blessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cunningham. Mr. Nolte.
Thank you, Dr. Allen, and thank you, Superintendent Hyde, and congratulations, Dr. Allen, and congratulations, Justin Sharpless, for being elected, and Sarah Beth, thank you for the great job you've done, and I can't follow that act right there. That was a great job, Mrs. Cunningham, all those wonderful things you went to. I can't top Superintendent Hyde in the congratulations for the Inspire Awards. I thought it was something that was put on by Hollywood. It was fabulous. Just everybody was well represented, and I can't thank all the employees in Polk County enough for all the great work they do. I wish we could give everybody across the board about a 35% pay raise, but I know we're working on it. I guess there's so many good things going on in the Polk County school system, and just everybody, if you get a chance, any extra time or spare time, please volunteer at your local school. Read them some books, read them some good books, and let's keep everybody active over the coming holiday. I ran across an old Irish blessing I thought was pretty apropos. It says, "Happy Thanksgiving. May love and laughter light your days and warm your heart and home. May good and faithful friends be yours wherever you may roam. May peace and plenty bless your world with joy that long endures. May all life's passing seasons bring the best to you and yours." So again, may God bless Polk County, all its students, its awesome families, all our wonderful employees. Have a great holiday. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Nolte. We're going to move to District 4 next, and that would be Ms. Wyatt.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. I first want to say congratulations to Dr. Allen and Mr. Sharpless. Have fun, enjoy it, and you're going to do great. I'm so excited for you. I do want to, of course, recognize, I don't know if anybody realized this, but the Teacher of the Year and School-Related Employee of the Year were, again, from District 4 and District 7. So Lisa and I are kind of rocking it, and she's not here, so I'm gonna give her some kudos. But I want to give a huge shout out to both Elizabeth Ashmore and Richard Reish with East Area Adult. And then also my District 4 Teacher of the Year. I am still not really sure how he didn't win because Robert's pretty incredible. But I know that you can't give everything to District 4, so it's fine. In a season of thankfulness, and in all seriousness, we have a lot to be thankful for in Polk County Public Schools. One of the things that we have coming up this week, and a couple schools have done theirs a couple days early, but is Great American Teach-In. So business partners out there, if you're thinking, man, I really have some extra time on Thursday, contact your local school, because I know that there are several of them that would still love to have some more businesses come out to talk to their students about what they can do in their futures. But I also just want to give a huge shout out to all of our local businesses that have given of their time and talents to be able to inspire young minds, because if you can't see it, you can't be it. And it's a great opportunity to show our students what all opportunities are out there. And that will conclude my report.
Thank you, Ms. Wyatt. And District 5, Ms. Fields.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. I have a few items here. First of all, I want to thank you, Sarah Beth, for the amazing job that you did for 2 years. That was not an easy lift. So we want to thank you for your sacrifices and your family's sacrifice by allowing you to do that extra lift. So great job. And I want to congratulate Dr. Allen and Mr. Sharpless as well. I'm sure that you guys would do a great job. At our last board meeting, I challenged each of the board members to make a contribution to the United Way campaign. Everyone should have received their form. And it is easy to do, doesn't take nothing but a minute, and it is payroll deductible, so you don't even miss it. I don't miss mine. So I'm encouraging you all to do that, because there are so many agencies and organizations that can benefit and that do benefit from all of the services that United Way provides in our community. And we never know when we actually might need the services. So I just encourage you all to consider doing that. And then I know that Dr. Allen and I were at Harrison for Cinderella last week. We sat next to each other with our families, and we had a great evening, and the students are just phenomenal. I mean, they are just amazing, all the talent that we have. And I want to congratulate them and the leadership of the school and all the staff that was involved in such a great production. And then I was out at Dr. Annie Roberts a couple of weeks ago, where Charlene Richardson Brinson was given the honor of having the Media Center named in her honor. So now it is the Charlene Richardson Brinson Media Center. And so we want to congratulate her for her accomplishments and the staff for their hard work in making sure that that happened. And then I think the highlight of the month for me was the renaming of the 9th grade freshman academy at Kathleen High School in memory of the late Johnny Jackson. It was a great morning. Lisa Miller was there along with Superintendent Hyde and others, and we were just in awe. All of the young men that said such great things about Mr. Jackson. And so now the freshman academy is the Johnny Jackson 9th grade academy, and we want to thank Mr. Darriford Jones and Ms. Pauline Summers Brown and the SAC committee for making sure that this happened and for a great event. And then I just would ditto what everyone said about the Teacher of the Year event. And Superintendent Hyde, I would appreciate it at some point in time that we can have the staff that was involved in that to come and be recognized. Because like you said, nobody can see them behind those walls, but they do a lot of hard work. We want to recognize them for that. And congratulations to everyone that was selected as a Teacher of the Year or the Employee-related Employee of the Year, even if they were not a finalist. There were many people that were recognized in their school, and they need to be honored. And the last thing that I would say, Wes said something that I think is very important, and I think that as we have our retreat and some of the things we can be reminded of, but I hope that we all understand that we are always in the sunshine. And when we're doing things, we need to be mindful of that. So I'll end my report with that.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. And District 6, Mr. Sharpless.
Thank you. Thank you. Am I on?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good. Thank you, Chair Allen. I first want to start off by thanking Sarah Beth Wyatt for the leadership. You'll always be the board chair when I was, brought onto this thing, and I'll never forget that. So I want to thank you for your leadership, and just what you've given this board for the last 2 years. I also want to thank all my fellow board members for the vote of confidence you have in me to be vice chair. That means a lot. I do not take that for granted, and plan on working hard. I'm looking forward to serving next to this man right here, Dr. Allen, as our chair. And so I'm always here to help support and what we need to do to keep this board moving forward. Want to just update you on a couple of my initiatives. First, my ag literacy initiative. I've read to 8 different elementary schools. In fact, one of the elementary schools, Dundee, had me read to every student in the entire school. That was really interesting. Normally I go into a classroom and I read to one classroom. I was in the cafeteria and they brought grade levels in for me to read to. And that was very, it was a lot, but I really enjoyed it. And so I'm taking a pause on that for the rest of this semester. And also I'm going to switch over. I was reading a book about Florida's dairy industry. The next book is going to be about Florida's apiary industry, or our bees and our pollinators. So elementary school principals and teachers, if you're interested in me reading to your classes, email me so we can start planning on starting in January, me bringing that back. Also, Friday Night Lights. I visited 10 different high school home football fields this season, and man, getting to go around and see the people, it was truly an enjoyment. I love football. It's my favorite sport. So in high school, there's nothing better than high school football as far as athletics, in my opinion. So it's great going out there. Want to say good luck to both Lakeland High School as they host Bartow, as well as Bartow when we play this Friday night in the state tournament, as well as Lake Wells High School. That will be playing Friday night as well. That's the Polk County teams that are left to continue on toward the state championship in football. I want to echo the Inspire Awards remarks. I think it's appropriately named the Inspire Awards, because if you do not come away from that event inspired, then I don't think you have a heartbeat. It's truly to see the videos, and I hope we make those publicly available. To see the videos and the testimonies from the administration, from especially the students, testimonies about their teachers, about the school-related employees is remarkable, and the impact they're making. So, this Inspire Awards was especially impressive for me, or memorable, because my father was a Teacher of the Year. He was not a district finalist, but he was Teacher of the Year for Roosevelt Academy in Lake Wales. So getting to attend an event like that and being the presence of your father is heartwarming, to say the least. I also want to mention a couple more things. On November 2nd, I went to the Polk County Public Schools Learning Support Division Town Hall at Lake Region High School. There's still a couple of more of those coming up, so make sure that if you're interested in learning more about our Learning Support Division, that you attend those and ask questions. I would like to see a little more attendance from the public there at those, so make sure you come out and learn more about our Learning Support Division. Two more things. First, earlier since last board meeting, I attended the dedication ceremony for the Roosevelt Academy welding program. I want to say thank you to the Gassett and Garcia family for donating the funds and the generosity to start that program. I'm a big advocate for career technical education and our students learning career skills, and I think a welding program like that at a school like Roosevelt is something that can be a game changer for some of those students and employment. And finally, on a more somber note, I'm asking if everyone could keep Lake Region High School, the community, the students, faculty, in your thoughts and prayers. We lost a student this past week to an altercation, not at the school site, but it was one of our students there at Lake Region High School. So please, keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sharpless. And I'll just finish with a couple comments as well. First of all, Ms. Wyatt, thank you. Thank you for your service. I was reflecting, just thinking this evening, you went through a lot of changes within the 2 years. Yeah, I think so. I think your name even changed during
The day I took over.
That's right. So, you've had some big life changes in the midst of your service, and you didn't miss a beat. You gave your whole heart, so for that we are very appreciative. So thank you so much for your leadership. And just a few things here as well. I get to serve alongside this guy, so thank you for what you're going to bring to this board as well, and I appreciate that. Board members, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to serve, and I look forward to doing that as well. I did want to just say thanks to Mr. Miller and Ms. Everett. I was really excited to see that many students in the boardroom tonight. Just that energy, it really changes the boardroom, so I really appreciate the work. I mean, just think about how many parents were out and gave their time as well this evening in support of their children. The Inspire Awards, yes. I mean, we've said so much about that, and the videos. And I'll say this every time. The market value on one video, just one that we saw, is at least $30,000 to $50,000. If you were to go out to market and have a little short mini doc like that produced, and we had so many of those that we saw that night, and then that's just to produce it, but you think about the impact of that. You know, we had well over 800 people in the audience, probably the most, some of the most educated in our workforce within Polk County as well. And I said a comment at the stage that they were the best dressed workforce as well. So just the impact and the contribution of Jarrett Ford and them hearing those stories. So not only the value of the work itself, but then how that work impacted. And it's obviously the individuals that are in those films that really made the lasting impression on all of our lives to inspire us as well. So I just want to say congrats to all of the Inspire Award honorees and then our winners as well. I did want to say thanks to the learning support staff for spending time as they moved all around our county during their town hall series. I did have a chance to step into Sleepy Hill and just hear a little bit about some of those things as it relates to our behavioral, our mental health, and the ESE needs of Polk County's youth. I know we had one last night as well. So that's been a great around the board and around the clock and their work and their time outside of their normal day-to-day to share some of those things with our community. I also want to say thanks to Lakeland Leads. Had a chance to just hear from a diverse educational group of leaders that came from all over the United States to really bring some best practices and then really get to compare and hear some of those things. I wanted to just send a really deep appreciation to Dr. Melanie Ryder for building that panel of experts. I think it was entitled Panel of Experts in Empowering Through Engagement. And just a couple things that I was really drawn to was the youth apprenticeship initiatives, this idea of social capital, and this sense of what a gap and what gaps lie within a community as it relates to social gap or social capital and how you can fill that and close that. Some other thing around community competencies and then pathways to mobility. So it was really good to churn on some data from all around the United States and some of these best practices and really critically evaluate and maybe with the hopes that we can bring some of that within Polk County as well. In the ancient world, music and literature were indistinguishable, and then it like moved to music as theatrical, and I was thinking about that in the context of history of music and how that really impacts and shapes our students. Had a chance to stop over at the all-county marching band assessments. That was quite fun to see. 50-yard line at the very, very top. You can see our judges curating, doing play-by-play as the performance is going on. It was just such an artistic expression, and music just sort of unifies in a big way, and you can really see the audience just really come alive as certain genres of music would play based on error and so forth, and almost like this big massive sing-along, and it was led by our students. It was so cool. So great to celebrate music and culture at that event. Our students were incredible, and that really dovetailed into what we heard about some of the other performances happening. Had a chance to sit with Miss Fields and her husband for that night, and what was really cool, we were just coming off of National Principals Month, and lo and behold, this gentleman comes up behind me and grabs my arm, and he's like, "Mr. Allen." And it was my high school principal from 30 years ago, because I just celebrated my 30th year from Bartow High School, and there he was, Ernie Cooper. To see him in person, oh my goodness, I did have to go to the principal's office a few times, just so you know. So he knew me pretty well. But it's cool to see our educators still pour into our students and love what happens in Polk County schools. So Mr. Cooper, thank you, thank you, thank you. So with that, I think that's how I'm going to wrap up some of my comments. So as we move down to that next item on our agenda is public comments, addressing items not on our agenda tonight. So I have a list of individuals who have signed up to speak today. So if you could, please come forward when I call your name, and I'll have you state your name and address for the record. And you'll have 3 minutes to speak. And first of all, we have Bernard Wells, if you can come on up. And on deck, we have Lisa Santana.
Greetings to each of you. My name is Bernard Wells from Winter Haven. Since the initial town hall meeting of the Learning Support Division, there has consistently been an extremely low turnout among parents. I take that as poor planning. The majority of the attendees are school board employees, to include board members. When you consider the total salaries of the district staff and state employees requested to attend these town hall meetings, there is not a justifiable return on the investment, as the salary total well over $20,000 per night, not including travel reimbursements. When you think about the 5 total town hall meetings, that equates to approximately $100,000 with less than 5 parents attending per meeting to date. Although I'm sure Mr. Hyde will disagree with that number and have different numbers to share with you. Furthermore, it is disheartening to hear that Mr. Hyde will continue to share misinformation about the evaluation timeline. He is inconsistent with the information to parents presenting this information. He tries to make the parents believe that the law is the culprit when it comes from the district's inability to evaluate students in a timely manner. The law is not the issue. It is the people that's distributing information incorrectly about the law, which is continuing to buy excuses for the district not implementing the law correctly. Mr. Hyde, you are the face of the district. Parents should be able to trust what you say as accurate and true. The truth starts with you, sir. I attended the very first town hall meeting held at Roosevelt Academy. I submitted several cards with my questions as requested. I was very disappointed that Mr. Gary did not present the questions to the panel as they was written on the card. This further speaks to the deceptive practices with misinformation to the public. This is the prime example of the lack of transparency when it comes to the issues appearing in the district. Rather than using this as an opportunity to address recurrent issue, you chose to control the narrative and paint a rose-colored picture to the public as usual. In the words of Ms. Cunningham, everything can't be perfect as you portray them. It's unrealistic. It is also unbecoming to have the Assistant Superintendent of Learning Support reading everything from her notes or slides during the town hall meeting. It appears that she is incompetent and lacks the confidence and knowledge base to deliver information that is pertinent to the success of the division. This could be true if you were to consider her record coming from Sarasota County Public Schools. It is the direct correlation.
Mr. Wells, thank you. Next up is Lisa Santana, and on deck would be Stephanie Yoakum.
Hello, guys. My name is Liza Santana, and you said you needed my address? Or did I miss
Yes,
you?
please.
Like my home address?
City will be fine.
Haines City.
Thank you.
So my name is Liza Santana, and I teach 5th grade ELA, and I come before you, a teacher who loves her job but is extremely frustrated. I found out today that I would be only getting paid $1,400 a month, which is an insane, unlivable wage. And since I've been hired, I feel like there's been nothing but issues with my payroll. The first problem was I contacted my district multiple times to tell them I needed to update my bank account, and they did not get back to me. When somebody did respond back to me, she only responded back to tell me that it was no longer her issue, basically, that it had to go to somebody else. So I emailed that person. They never responded. I emailed her again to say, hey, that person you told me to tell did not respond. And then my first check went to a closed bank account. And when I went to my pay officer, she had told me, she's forwarded me an email from the district saying, well, payroll was processed. We can't cut a check for her. It's been done. That's it. It's over. And I feel like the only reason I did get paid timely was because I demanded that they pay me. I told them I do not work for free, the same way none of you work for free. I love what I do. My kids' scores have gone up. I have the kids that they told me were the worst of the worst. They were unmanageable. Maybe it's the Puerto Rican New Yorker in me. I don't know what it is, but these kids love me and I love them back. But I can't do it off of $1,400 a month, guys. I was told to pass my FTCE subject exam, which I did, and this is an exam that I was told people have taken 9 times, 8 times, 7 times. I did it on my second time. I'm not an education major, but I did study literature, and I have $58,000 in school debt to prove it, and for some reason I did not qualify for a teacher salary. So I feel like even after sending in all my paperwork, telling them it's been 3 or 4 days, my district has not contacted me back. I need my district to ride for me the way I ride for them. If I have to jump through obstacles for you to prove that I want to be here, you should jump through obstacles to prove that you want to keep me. Because before I even knew this meeting was going to happen, I had walked into my representative's office and said, I think I'm going to quit. I made more money doing customer service. I didn't get into teaching for the money, but I can't live off of this. And I feel like if I don't have a district that wants to communicate with me, why do I want to communicate with them? Why do I have to keep proving to my district that I deserve to be paid something? That I deserve to not have to choose between feeding my cats or washing laundry? And maybe you guys think these are not your concerns, but somebody set up these rules. Somebody said I only qualified for $15 an hour, that then gets reduced to around $700 biweekly, because they take out a portion to cover days that I can't work because of holidays. I want to be here. I want to be with my students. I need my district to have my back the same way I have my students' back.
Thank you, Ms. Santana.
Thank you.
Ms. Yoakum, and on deck, we have Josie Arias Scouty.
Stephanie Yoakum, president of the Polk Education Association out of Bartow, Florida. It's kind of a similar vein with payroll, personnel, and raises. Communication has to improve. We were given tentative timelines for end of November for raises, and it's not happening. It's going to be end of December now, which more than 2 months after you guys have ratified and we have ratified, it's unacceptable. Our teachers, our paraeducators, our secretaries show up every day and put all students first. We're on the front lines doing the work. And we expect our district to have our back and prioritize us getting the money that we've already earned. And we need communication to improve. The fact that we learned that it was going to be end of December in a public meeting last work session is unacceptable. And you see the tears, and they're not tears of weakness, they're tears of anger, because we deserve better. We deserve to have a district that cares about us just as much as we care about kids. And to get raises after the holidays, essentially, just a couple days before we return back to work, is unacceptable. We have to have communication be better and to have this process run smoother. We cannot continue to present and have our units vote on raises and then have you all vote on raises and not see them for more than 2 months. There has to be a better way to do this. And we are asking for a better way to do this. And so if there's a middle ground that we can reach for December 15th before we leave for winter break, we are asking for that so that we can get some kind of money in people's hands before they go on Christmas break and on winter holiday. And so while the end of November may not be realistic at this point, we need to collaborate and communicate and get some money into people's hands December 15th before we go on winter holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yoakum. Josie Arias Gowdy and Robert Goodman, you're on deck.
I am Josie Arias Gowdy. I am from Lakeland. This is my 18th year teaching for Polk County Schools. I am sorry that you have to sit here month after month listening to the lies that are happening in our classrooms. If all of those individuals would volunteer, they would have a different opinion of what's happening in our schools. I'm here today not only speaking for myself, but on behalf of all the teachers that live too far, are at the second jobs, or fear retaliation for speaking up. Parents who aren't able to be here because they are busy providing for their families. aren't aware they can attend, or simply don't speak English. I am here because the state of Florida continues to make decisions that are negatively affecting public education. As a result, we have lost our beloved class dojo. I was able to send individual or group messages, post pictures which help parents feel connected to our class, and receive instant feedback from parents. School Messenger is the method of communication we are using now. Some teachers had no idea until they saw a Facebook post. Some parents have been unable to connect. I don't get alerts, so if I'm not on the actual website, I can't see the message. I know parents that have tried to log on, they can't. One parent tried to send a private message, it went to the whole group instead, and some messages are even posting the following day. As you know, effective communication, which seems to be a hot topic today, between parents and teachers is essential for the overall well-being and success of our students. Neglecting this vital element can have a significant and negative impact on their education and the relationships we strive to build. Engaged and informed parents are more likely to be involved in their child's education. Parents now feel detached from the school environment and are less likely to participate in their child's learning or school activities. I urge the Polk County School Board to consider the significance of parent-teacher communication and take measures to ensure that it remains a central pillar of our education system. Open and effective channels of communication help create and collaborative and supportive learning environment that benefits our students and the entire school community. I've been looking into other communication apps, and I noticed that Talking Points is approved on the Pure List, which, by the way, School Messenger is still under review. Can we look into Blooms? Blooms has won awards for their privacy and security and is similar to Class Dojo. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert Goodman, you're up next.
Thank you, Board. The first thing I want to say is I want to congratulate you, Dr. Allen, and you, Mr. Sharpless, for your new positions. And I want to thank the rest of the Board for unanimously supporting two fine members of the Board to step up to those positions. We look forward to working with you. Also, thank you for your service for the last 2 years, Ms. Wyatt. Tonight, I wanted to briefly bring up some corrections to some emails that were sent out about book challenges. After our last meeting, 2 books that were in the Polk County Schools seems to have been removed from the libraries. I'm not upset about that. I think it's thankful. I'm glad I took screenshots that showed where they were. But Push by Sapphire was at George Jenkins and Ridge Community High School. Now it appears that it's gone. Jesus Land by Julia Shears was showing at Lake Gibson High, and it's no longer there. I don't know who removed those books, but I want to thank them. Whether it was the board, whether it was the superintendent, whether it was the media center specialist at those schools, thank you, because those books have a lot of pornographic and harmful content, and it makes me feel good that we see that they're not there. I know no one wants to get the public who is against pornography in schools to have a public win, but the fact that these books are no longer there is something that gives me some hope in the month of November, something to be thankful for. One thing that I hope the board will address coming in the new year is that none of the book challenges in schools have been done according with your own policy 2522. There are some very specific things that happen in that policy. I won't take time to discuss it tonight. I would like to discuss it with some of you one-on-one, but no book challenges in our county since I've lived here have been done according to the policy in place at the time. And hopefully we're going to see some changes with that. I'd like for you to follow your own policies. Other than that, I just want to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving, and especially the 2 of you that have new members at your Thanksgiving table for the first time this year. Congratulations to both of you again, and I hope the board has a great holiday. We look forward to working with all of you in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Goodman. That concludes our speakers who've signed up to speak this evening.
Mr. Chair, if I may, we do have Brian Warren here, so he can address the concerns expressed by the young lady in the back. As it relates to her salary and payroll issues, I'm not quite sure. I followed what the actual issue was, but Mr. Warren is here. But I do have Mr. Pitts and Mrs. Pasco here. There seems to be, when we talk about communication, we talk about the pay raises. This board was told on October 24th that we needed to approve back-to-back so that we could issue these payments in December, not in November, but in December. And so the team has been adamant that while they said they would strive to get payroll done in November, there was never a commitment to that effect. We remain committed to try and process payroll as quickly as we can. The problems that we've run into in the past, however, when we've tried to do this expeditiously, is we end up issuing overpayments or underpayments to staff, which frustrates them even further. And so the amount of time, and when you look at you look at November and you look at December, that are both very much abbreviated work months, with only 2 weeks available in December and only 3 weeks available in November, the amount of programming that has to take place for over 14,000 employees to ensure that their payroll is done accurately and that they get their retroactive pay, it's a heavy task and one that needs to be done correctly. And so we appreciate the frustration by PEA, and let's be very candid about the fact that this board and this superintendent have been more aggressive at negotiating pay raises than ever before. And so to have someone stand here and make those comments and erode the confidence and trust and the relationship that we've built, based on that, the fact that we are focused on our employees, we've given 3 pay raises in less than 24 months to these groups because their pay has been suppressed. And this board has supported that each and every time. But I won't have the team thrown to the wolves because someone else overcommitted or overpromised something. So I remain committed to trying to find a solution. If we can issue payroll by December 15th, absolutely. If we can do a partial payment by December 15th, absolutely, and I'll give the board an update. But I want to be clear, here on the public record, we stated when we could issue that payroll, and the board asked, I believe Ms. Fields and others asked me the question, when we were in workshop and in the board meeting, if we don't approve this back-to-back, what does that mean? I said we would not be able to process payroll until January or February. And so the board took action to allow us to process this as quickly as we could. So Mr. Pitts, Mr. Warren, Ms. Pasco are here to address the concerns that were brought up today about payroll if the board has any specific questions.
Yeah, there were many things that were mentioned by a previous public speaker. That was a perfect example of miscommunication, and we'll be able to provide you some information so you understand. Sure. Let me start over. Let me say that there was some miscommunication presented tonight from a previous public speaker, and we have all the communication that has taken place. We have the video of the last work session where I clearly stated that it would be the end of the month payroll in December for which pays would be processed. One of the reasons that it was December 30, it's actually December 29th, will be the payday, had to do with a new process we're instituting this year where employees will be able to see their pay raise ahead of time and can then ask questions and talk to HR staff explaining how they were placed on the new salary schedule. We've never done that before. The other thing that does is give us extra time to ensure that fidelity was done in processing these paychecks. So I'd like to provide that information to you, and so that there is a full commitment that you see from our side in communicating this information. After I made that statement during the last work session that December 29th would be the pay date, I have received no question from PEA about that. And as recent as yesterday, PEA was still sending out information that paychecks would arrive in November. So we'll be doing a lot of work to clear up the communication, and so employees know what the real story is. I have other staff here that can respond if I haven't responded correctly or anything that they would want to add, but that's all I have to say tonight.
Thank you, sir. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I want to say Superintendent Hyde and I have not agreed on a lot of things, and it is what it is. But I will say, from my experience, whenever there's been a concern, and I've gone to the superintendent, he has listened, and 9 times out of 10, he's addressed the issue. So I believe that if this can be resolved in some way, a partial payment for the middle of December, and if it can't, then as quickly as possible. I remember when we had previous folks in payroll, Dana, they would work almost 24 hours a day trying to meet the obligations that we committed to. So I know it's a heavy lift, and we're going to do the best that we can. But I just want the public to understand that you do listen. Again, we don't always agree, and we're not, but that's okay. But you do listen, and I think ultimately you want what's best for the employees and your team. I believe that. Now, communication is an issue, and we talked about that too, and I know that you're working on that. Thank you, Dr. Allen.
Yes, Ms. Fields. Anybody else want to contribute to this? Ms. Cunningham, you're recognized.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. Just want to say, golly, it's so hard. I am so proud of the teamwork that our district and our union have done to get to the point of raises. I'm shocked to hear Ms. Yoakum come up to the podium after never mentioning anything or discussing anything with our team. That's so frustrating to me. If you have a problem, don't come before us in a public setting. Please, if the communication lines are open between both, reach out. But I did clearly hear superintendent, because even I went, oh, gosh darn, I wish, everybody could get their paychecks, whatever. End of November was kind of what I think people were thinking, but we were told it can't work for whatever reasons. It is what it is. We're a growing district. There's programming. There's just so much that go into this that I hate to taint the fact that we're issuing raises across all bodies. This is unbelievable in the times in which we live, and we need to consider ourselves blessed that our two groups work together for the common good to help folks. The fact that it might be 4 days after Christmas, we're talking 4 days, 25 to 29 is what I think Mr. Pitts said. I know it's Christmas, I get it, our family celebrates, and for those of you that celebrate other holidays, I understand, but I think doing this to taint what all the good work that's gone into this from both sides over 4 days it's a little bit hard for me to understand when we were told at our last board meeting, when we approved it and ratified it, as Ms. Wyatt, as chair, did a back-to-back so that we could, in fact, get it done as quick as possible. So I just hope we can come to some resolution, and if we can't do it till the 29th of December, then we can't. We're doing the best that we can, given what we have. I'm not going to sit here and say I think staff should work 24/7 to get that. I think that's crazy. People have lives, they have obligations, people have whatever going on, just like our teachers and everyone else. So let's be humble, let's be gracious, let's step back, and let's not get ugly at this time of year when we're trying so hard to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Allen.
Cunningham. Ms. Pasco?
Yes, sir.
You're recognized.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, thank you.
Yeah.
So for those listening from home, my name is Ann Pasco. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of IT, and we're all arguing about what my team can do. So I'd like to give some explanation. First of all, I'd like to recognize that I have 2 members that have just walked in. I have Rob Lawback, who was recognized a few weeks ago as the Senior Director of Business Process Services, and it is, what time? 6:55 at night. Mr. Lawback got here this morning at 6:30. He is not required to attend board meetings. He also has with him the Director of Software Development, Diane Rivera. She is trying to leave the country to attend a family event, and she is staying here tonight to address this issue. None of that was done because they knew what public comment was going to be. The reality is this.
We are a small IT shop. We have 110 staff members. Our business process services, which is under Mr. Lawback, has six total staff members. In order to accomplish what we have asked, we must reconfigure SAP, and we have two choices. We can do that and follow the path that Mr. Pitts has laid out, where we let staff see their paychecks and weigh in before they get paid on what might be an error, so that while we're out for holidays, people have confidence in their check and feel good about paying their bills. Or, if the board and Mr. Hyde so request, we can push that up earlier. However, if it is pushed up earlier, we cannot give you any confidence that we would have had time to do error checking. Now, I feel some responsibility about this because I was asked outside of negotiations, and that is my lesson learned, could we have this system ready by Thanksgiving? And I said yes, and I stand by that. We met today, including Mr. Pitts, Mr. Warren, multiple other people of the staff. We at Polk County are extremely committed to trying to make sure our staff are paid correctly. It takes time to do these things. I would love nothing more than to tell you I can snap my fingers and I can give you a new system that will do everything the way we want it to do, but that is not reality. Everyone has to get paid, and we get paid based upon systems, and systems take time and personnel to implement. So I think we have a choice. We have a choice to decide how we're going to problem solve together collaboratively without throwing each other under the bus.
Amen.
And recognize that there are very hard people working on both sides of the fence. The IT department is happy to do what you request, but Ms. Cunningham, I greatly appreciate your statement. Because Mr. Lawback personally, including someone else from Ms. Jenkins' team, worked all last weekend on this. Mr. Warren has a staff member who also worked on the weekend. We have met daily on this. We are not sitting around twiddling our thumbs. But we all know, and Mr. Hyde is 100% correct, overpayment situations do not benefit this district. Once you overpay someone in any situation, it's hard to get that money back. Our money needs to go for what students need in order to learn. And we need to streamline those systems so that people have fidelity and trust in what we're doing. That is what we're trying to do. You will hear from us in a couple weeks about an SAP upgrade. The reality is that system has not been upgraded since 2011. That is causing some of the problems as well. I understand that can be hard for people to hear. I understand it can be hard for them to understand. But you do have a committed group of people working very, very hard to try to make this happen. And I think that's evidenced by the fact I had no idea this was going to come up tonight, and neither did two of my staff members, and they happen to be here working on it. We are 100% happy to share as much as we can about what we're doing without giving away information that would put us into a negative situation, that someone could come in and know things about us they shouldn't know. But one thing I will say, we need to learn how to do this together. None of us as humans deserve this type of vitriol. It does not benefit the students. It does not benefit the board. It does not benefit us. The last thing I will say is I chose to come to Polk County. I am really hoping that my colleagues, including PEA, can be the kind of people I know we can be to provide the kind of service the Polk County kids deserve. Mr. Hyde, I will leave that up to you and the board to decide. We can, Mr. Lawback, provide
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you let us know what you want.
Thank you, Ms. Pasco. Superintendent Hyde, do you want to have any last comments here? No? Board members, at this point, our next order of business is adjournment. There being no further business, This meeting of the Polk County School Board is now adjourned.